positive will ever occur in a community that fails to circulate its dollars. I mean, the data is there. No group circulates the dollars more so than East Indians, Arab Americans. The average dollar stays in their community 45 days before leaving. Number two, Asian Americans. The average dollar stays in the Asian community 24 days before leaving. Number three, Jewish Americans. The average dollar stays in the Jewish community 17 to 19 days before leaving. The average dollar today stays in the black community 6 hours before leaving. But it wasn't always like that. The average dollar in 1921, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and those 3,600 square blocks, stayed in that community 18 months to 2 years before leaving.
You must build a 5-story building. And this is how you get your wealth and power. Now, the first thing you work on is economics. You started practicing group economics, making your money bounce in your own community 8 to 12 times before it leaves. The second floor is politics. Our people got that backwards. They want to get into politics before they get in the economy. Backwards as hell. You won't make it. You buy every politician with the money you made on the first floor. The third floor is your court system, your police system. You control the court system so they won't be getting 40 years in jail for having marijuana. Then the fourth floor is media. You take your money off the first floor and you buy media. Black folk own 35 thousandths of 1% in media. You don't own media, you can't communicate, you can't organize, you can't motivate. The fifth floor is education. Education is a tool, just like a hammer and a saw. But you got to have an economy. See, when a kid graduates from school, the first thing you do, he should be able to go back to his own community and start building businesses and industries and drawing money into his community and holding it.
I don't care what anybody else talks about in America. It's not worthwhile wasting your time. The problem in America is not drug abuse, crime, low-income housing, public housing, food stamps, welfare, teenage pregnancy. Those are symptoms of a problem. The symptoms are the fact that you don't own and control anything to run you and control your lives. That's the problem. And the second thing is inappropriate behavior pattern. And before I get into inappropriate behavior patterns, let me define that for you. Now, in current day terms, I might call it the Rodney King syndrome. It's pretty familiar to most of you. That's when somebody pulls you out of a car, breaks your jaw, breaks. You don't own and control anything to run you and control your lives. That's the problem. And the second thing is inappropriate. I don't care what anybody else talks about in America. It's not worthwhile wasting your time. The problem in America is not drug abuse, crime, low-income housing, public housing, food stamps, welfare, teenage pregnancy. Those are symptoms of a problem. The symptoms are the fact that you don't own and control anything to run you and control your lives. That's the problem. And the second thing is inappropriate behavior pattern. And before I get into inappropriate behavior patterns, let me define that for you. Now, in current day terms, I might call it the Rodney King syndrome. It's pretty familiar to most of you. That's when somebody pulls you out of a car, breaks your jaw, breaks 3 ribs, cracks 2, knocks out 2 teeth, gives you a concussion, breaks your wrist, breaks your kneecap, and stomps you, and you say, why can't we all get along? That is inappropriate behavior.
Black folks wanted to integrate, and integrate killed us for a number of reasons. I'll try to get these points in very quickly. One, first of all, integration and integrate killed us for a number of reasons. Black folks wanted to integrate, and integrate killed us for a number of reasons. I'll try to get these points in very quickly. One, first of all, integration is nothing but a new modified form of segregation. Only thing now, you've broken your people down to a smaller unit, and you defied the first premise of power, which is you no longer have numerical power. Now you're in little small groups all around large urban areas. That's point one that's going to knock our brains out. Point two is that the white society maintains what we call a racial balance, or what we call a tipping point, which says that I will accept black folks primarily at 0, but I would tolerate them anywhere from up to 5 to 8% of any given population. But the minute they cross that 5 to 8% population, it is no longer integration, it's now invasion, and I must take action against it. So I'll either take my kids out of school, put my house up for sale, move my business to the suburbs, or I will resign from the organization, okay? Because I'm not going to let him get that dominance over me. Third thing that immigration is done for you, it destroyed all your major businesses because they used the highway system to drive expressways right down the center of every black community in this country. And where blacks used to have major business opportunities in the country, they were all destroyed. 4, we find that also we got a major capital drain. There's a basic rule in economics which says you must spend your money in your community and make it bounce 8 to 12 times before it leaves. Black money never bounced 1 time. Black folk have approximately $300 billion passing through our hands annually. Right. That money doesn't even bounce in our communities.
Hell, we're not talking about discrimination. I have no interest in black folk eradicating discrimination. It is humanly impossible, physically, mentally, and psychologically, in any respect, for you to stop people from discriminating. We don't have any problem with discrimination. That is not racism. Racism is a complex, competitive issue strictly between whites and blacks. It doesn't include anybody else. And I'm sick and tired. That's why I'm pissed to the highest level of pissivity. I've been telling black folks this in this general society ever since I was with President Carter, with President Clinton. Same thing over and over and over again. Racism is racism. Racism never existed until 1859, 1 year before the damn Civil War. That is a conflict between blacks and whites that went on for all those years, and which covered and justified slavery. And then later on, it passed on into the black codes after the Civil War and became what we call formalized segregation. And now that later on, it switched over and became after, I guess, about 1965, when white women went down to the Congress and says, if you write a new civil rights law, put women in there and take black folk out. You still have black folk that don't understand that after all this damn time. I'm up in age now. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be around here, but I'm just sick and tired and pissed off. You have no damn black leadership. And then these articles, it'll tell you have no damn black leadership. You go down to the second paragraph, it talked about how the mayor goes down to the public arena to talk about, again, about reparations. He takes a whole bunch of blacks with him that are codifying and ratifying and approving in the inclusion of whites into reparations and American Indians into what reparations and all these other minority groups, fabricated minorities. I'm sick and tired. That's why you can never get anything resolved in this country, because every issue that comes up that should be pertaining strictly to black folk, you get into some kind of conference, you got some black leadership meeting with everybody and kicking the can down the damn road. They never focus on the issue. You've been having, right now, black folk hold a record, in conclusion, Dr. Watkins, for having been in America, having been enslaved, Jim Crow segregated, benign, neglected, and ignored for 465 years. That is a record that no other group on the earth has. Nobody on earth, no ethnic group, racial group, integrating, has been enslaved that long, and people are still kicking the can down the road, talk about everything but black folk. I always want to bring in, black folk can't go to the bathroom, but I'm bringing everybody into the bathroom with them.